Videos taken from a white boat show green-blue water, fairly calm on this day. There are mixed clouds and mostly sun. Deciduous trees mark the edge of the waterline. Mountains rise sharply out of the water, the tallest of which still have snow on their peaks. Text on screen: Glacier Bay National Park, May 20th, 2020. South Marble Island, May check-in. A park ranger wearing a green ball cap and orange float coat speaks to the camera.
Good afternoon, virtual visitors. This is Ranger Steve coming to you live from Glacier Bay National Park. We are on one of the park vessels named the Ciroc, and in the background we have our destination.
Ranger Steve gestures behind him with his thumb. Among flat blue-green water, a light tan rock rises out of the flat water. This rock is South Marble Island, which is mostly rocky at the shoreline, but some vegetation is visible as the island raises out of the water,
Which is called South Marble Island.
Semi-transparent text overlaid on a close-up of the island. It reads South Marble Island.
We are 2 miles away from our destination, South Marble Island. And even from this distance, we can hear some of the creatures that live there. So I'm going to be quiet as we record their sound.
Ranger Steve steps out of the way. A video of South Marble Island in Glacier Bay is shown. The island takes up only about a quarter of the middle of the screen because of its current distance.
And South Marble Island, because it's surrounded by water, is the perfect sanctuary for marine birds and mammals. The marine mammals that we are listening to, stellar sea lions, use this as a safe place to rest.
Mixed colors of brown and dark brown sea lions lay and stand upon various tan, smooth rocks.
And if they get hungry, they'll just dive into the water and get some of the fish in these productive waters.
A small island of smooth rock just barely raises out of the surface amidst Glacier Bay. Distant snowy mountains and clouds are visible. Behind this island covered in sea lions.
For the marine birds, though, this is an important habitat for their nests.
A video clip shows smooth rock with mixed vegetation, and white birds fly around it.
Well, here we are at South Marble Island, and to prepare you for some of the discoveries, I would like to talk about how to identify some of the major bird populations that we see here.
Ranger Steve leans on a gray boat railing in front of South Marble Island. At this distance, the rocks jut 20 to 30 feet out of the water and are mostly smooth and clear vegetation, except for sparse trees and low-lying shrubs at the top.
Now, we do have 2 different gull species. We have the glaucous-winged gull.
Photos of the glaucous-winged gull are shown. The scientific name is also shown. This is a large white bird with gray on top of its wings. It has black eyes and a yellow beak with a red spot on the bottom of the beak. Its legs are a reddish-pink color.
And that's the larger of the 2 gull species that we see on South Marble Island. They are usually located up on the top of these dome rocks.
A video of smooth marble rock with occasional green vegetation and a small stunted tree shaped by the wind. Glaucous-winged gulls are visible as white spots sitting around and across this rock.
And then we have the more numerous, smaller species of gull known as a black-legged kittiwake. They like to nest lower down on the rocks.
Photos of black-legged kittiwakes are shown. Their common name and scientific names are shown on screen. The photos depict the black-legged kittiwakes in groups, standing and sitting on nests on a cliffside. Later, a video plays showing white birds flying erratically in groups against the backdrop of South Marble Island.
And we'll often see huge flocks of them when they get excited in this area.
Another video of several dozen black-legged kittiwakes swimming in water. There are 2 puffins nearby swimming away from the camera.
Another species that we will be looking for is the tufted puffin. Now, the tufted puffin...
Photos of the tufted puffin are shown. Text appears on screen, tufted puffin, including the common and scientific names.
It's about a football-sized bird. It is mostly all black. It does have a white face, but their identifying features...
A video of 2 puffins swimming in calm water as black-legged kittiwakes fly overhead and swim nearby.
It has this bright, big orange bill, and they also have these beautiful golden plumes that they grow in the nesting season. And the tufted puffin, they are unusual among birds in that they will dig a burrow in some of the soil areas on South Marble Island And in the bottom of the burrow is where they will locate their nest or their egg. And that's where they will raise their young.
Close-up photos of the tufted puffin are shown while Steve talks. Now, videos play showing puffins swimming in the water near South Marble Island. A tufted puffin cleans itself in the water. The camera pans up to show a cliffside covered in cormorants and black-legged kittiwakes flying and perched on the rocks.
One bird that is very exciting for myself personally is the marbled murrelet.
A photo of a marbled murrelet appears on screen with the scientific and common names. The murrelet sits in calm water holding a fish nearly the size of its body.
They live in these waters, find it very productive, but they don't nest on South Marble Island. Where do they nest? They nest by the city of Juneau. So they fly from Juneau all the ways here to capture fish, and then they'll fly all the ways back to feed their young.
A video of two marbled murrelets as black specks swimming just above the water surface fast across the waterline.
Juneau is 50 air miles away from us, so that is a pretty amazing feat for a very small bird to be dedicated to its young and to its nest site. Other bird species that we are looking for is the pelagic cormorant.
The video freezes as a large arrow points to a black speck flying in the sky above Steve as he talks. Text on screen, pelagic cormorant. This is the common name. The scientific name is also written on screen. Photos of the cormorant are shown, including the cormorant sitting on nests on rock faces, a cormorant stretching its wings as it stands on rocks, and videos at South Marble Island play showing many cormorants standing on a flat cliff face.
And these are long-necked all black birds, and sometimes they'll have their wings stretched out to dry them in the sun. They will dive deep into the water to catch fish, and they will also nest on South Marble Island. And they usually nest lower down on the rocks. Another bird that we will look out for is the pigeon guillemot.
Text on screen, pigeon guillemot, including the scientific name. A photo appears of the pigeon guillemot carrying a fish as it swims just above the water surface. It is mostly black with white on the rear of its wings, with bright orange legs. Several additional photos are shown.
The pigeon guillemot is about the same size as the tufted puffin. It is mostly black, but it does have some white on its wings. But another key characteristic of the pigeon guillemot, it has these bright red feet during the nesting season. And we will see those here at South Marble Island.
A video of two pigeon guillemots floating in the water near South Marble Island. Another video clip of a pair of tufted puffins near South Marble Island. Some birds fly overhead and sea lions are sitting on rocks in the distance. Now a closer video shows many sea lions on smooth rocks rising from the ocean. Snow-covered mountains are in the far distance.
Even though we're in Alaska and we see a lot of stellar sea lions, we do occasionally see the California sea lion, and we are probably at the northern limit of its range. But we do have male California sea lions here.
A close-up video of a California sea lion on smooth rocks. There are half dozen stellar sea lions around it as it barks and interacts with them. The California sea lion is darker and has a knob on its forehead to differentiate itself from the stellar sea lions.
They are identified because they will have this knob on their forehead, identifying them differently than the stellar sea lions. And South Marble Island is a great location to be on the lookout for this unusual sighting.
A close-up video of the California sea lion standing on South Marble Island rocks. It seems agitated by a stellar sea lion in front of it and slowly lunges toward it on land. The stellar sea lion backs off, and the California sea lion continues to bark loudly.
Another marine mammal that calls Glacier Bay its home during the summer months is the humpback whale.
Calm, blue-green ocean water makes up the majority of this scene, with distant treed mountains and snow-capped peaks obscured by gray clouds. A video of a humpback whale spouting its small dorsal fin and humped back is seen, barely breaching the surface before entering the water again.
And we will often see them around South Marble Island. I'd see a few blows off in the distance. And when they're coming up to the surface, they will often have 2 or 3 breaths on the surface.
In the same ocean scene, a humpback whale spout is seen. Then its small dorsal fin and humped back raises out of the water. Finally, its fluke raises completely out of the water, dark blue or black, and the sunlight strikes it shining white before it disappears underwater.
And what they're doing is they're reoxygenating their blood. They're getting their blood cells full of oxygen, and then eventually, after about 3 or 4 blows, they will come up to the surface, take a deep breath, and then they will get ready to dive. And that's when you'll see them bring their flukes out of the water, and that indicates to us that they are going deep, and they will dive, and they'll be underwater for about 5 to 8 minutes after we see that.
Another scene with deciduous forests lining mountainsides, whose snowy peaks disappear into clouds. This time the boat is moving as it looks off at the calm water. A whale spout is seen, followed by its small dorsal fin and humped back. Then its fluke raises out of the water and curves in a perfect arch before it disappears under the water.
Well, that concludes our visit to Glacier Bay, South Marble Island. I hope you had a great visit. I sure did, and I'd like to see you back in a couple of weeks.
The clip of Ranger Steve talking fades to various scenes of Glacier Bay scenery, including mountains and ocean, a forested island, and a flock of birds flying in slow motion over calm water. Credits appear on screen, music in order of play: David Hilowitz, Scattered Light, and Daylight Savings. All videos from May 20th, 2020. Special thanks Steve Schaller, Cheryl Cook. Thank you to all who have donated photos over the years. npsvideo/s.tevebaugh. Thanks for watching. Until next time. NPS Arrowhead shows, Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve.